Hello, we're at Battersea Arts Centre to appreciate the talent, imagination and timekeeping skills of artists.
According to Rembrandt, a work is finished when the artist has realised his intentions.
Which, in my case, is never. And in the case of today's artists, needs to be just 4 hours. Welcome back. It's Portrait Artist of the Year 2020.
Of today's 9 artists, 5 are amateur. Dan Robbins, Heather Rankin, Julia Page, James Mellon, and Jonathan Chan.
If I can get a good start, it should be a wave. If not, who knows, I'll probably start crying.
And they're joined by 4 professional artists. Gail Davis, Tommy Golunsky, Toby Michael, and Tina Willis-Jones.
I'm really excited about having a sitter today. I love working from life. I just hope they're not too fidgety.
To stand out from the crowd, today's artists must show confidence.
So much could go wrong.
And produce their best work in just 4 hours.
I'm like a swan. It's like graceful on top, but underneath my legs are kicking furiously.
They'll be aiming to capture both the lightness and mood of one of 3 celebrity sitters. You're painting a very calm sitter.
She's calm at the moment.
Do you think she could turn?
Well, when these turn, she might turn.
Oh, I see, OK.
And it's all for a life-changing prize, a £10,000 commission to paint music legend Nile Rodgers for the Royal Albert Hall.
So who will convince the judges that they deserve a place in the semi-final?
I understand that you've been getting top tips from a certain person.
If you win, I'll share the prize. As the artists focus on setting up, the judges turn their attention to their self-portraits that earn them a place in today's heat. Another day, another wall. Now, I think this is clear, was never intended to be a submission. This was a casual sketch by someone very young.
You've got to see beyond the presentation to see what a beautiful, delicate portrait is. Very touching.
Very timeless as well. You know, if I didn't know it was made in the last few years, I would find it hard to date it. I'd wonder if it was from the early 20th century or something.
What I love about this painting is it's got this whole other Jurassic Park narrative.
It reminds me of Rembrandt's Girl at the Window, you know, the way he's sort of peering out, looking at us, inviting us in.
Here, no narrative to distract us at all. It's very crisp outline, a very simple background.
I think it's an exercise in how to put beautiful tones together. I think match the colours absolutely perfectly.
It's really compelling to look at because you find yourself sort of traversing all these different shapes, and then at the same time, it's quite a tender portrait as well.
The light through the glasses underneath her eyes, I think, is really well depicted. I mean, I know it's using the paper itself, but I think she's observed it very well. This is before and after.
What drew me to it it's the strange way it's painted, this strange elongation, but you do get a sense of masculinity, sort of not knowing where it should be.
I think it's a great painting about identity. He looks so different in each.
Which one do you think will be here at the competition?
I hope we get the guy in the dressing gown.
A lot of revealing character here.
In making that chaos around the head, it does draw us in, and it draws me into the eyes, really, which is sort of very fluid and rather mysterious. Very effective painting, yeah.
This is an exercise in capturing intense character. That's what I love about it.
The way that she's using this watercolour to do really lovely soft things on the surface to play with the freckles, but then also you've got these very hard outlines, which almost are a bit more like illustration. She's contrary in the way she paints, and I think it really gives a great emphasis.
Another soulful portrait here.
It's beautiful, just combination of colours, really. This very cool, subdued grey, which works very well with the hair, which is a tour de force. There's just like 3 or 4 brush marks, and we know we can feel the hair almost.
The thinness of the brushstrokes is what also gives it a sense of movement, very effectively, I think.
Here's another bold one.
I love this approach to portraiture where you're not looking for the face, but you're just responding to the colours that you see, and you put them in the right place, and magically a head sort of appears.
There's no single line drawn. He's constructed form and shape with these little blocks of colour.
Well, how varied they are and how different, and we shall be examining their expressions all day long.
All set for a new portrait, it's time for the artist to find out who they will be painting. Artists, your sitter today is an actress not to be messed with. She was a detective chief superintendent in ITV's Fearless, and she was a detective inspector in Channel 4's Kiri. She'll be inspecting your work later on. It's Wunmi Mosaku. Since graduating from RADA in 2007, Wunmi has starred in a string of high-profile television series and won a BAFTA for her performance in the BBC drama Damilola, Our Loved Boy.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Got the memo about the headscarves. Have you had your portrait painted before?
Never.
Are you looking for anything in particular from the artist? Do you want something airbrushed and flattering? Do you want something real and gritty?
Flattering would be nice.
Okay.
But I'm open. Whatever your style, I'm open.
Artists, your sitter is a seasoned actress who, among many other things, has won an Olivia Award for playing an artist's wife in a National Theatre production about Stanley Spencer. Please welcome the hugely versatile Deborah Findlay. With a career spanning 4 decades, Deborah's diverse roles range from a Victorian spinster in Cranford to a Home Secretary in Torchwood to a hardened divorce lawyer in BBC drama The Split. Now, how do you feel about sitting still for 4 hours?
I've got no idea. I don't think I've ever done it before. So I don't know how I'm going to be.
But you're not playing a part, Deborah.
No, but I don't know who I am.
We'll discover.
Artists, your sitter today is a multi-award-winning British-Iranian comedian and actor. Please welcome Omid Djalili. As well as performing stand-up comedy around the world, Omid's prolific acting career has seen him appearing in blockbuster films like Gladiator, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, great to see you. Great to be here, guys.
Now, you have played an artist in a film, is that right?
Yes, I played Picasso in a film called Modigliani.
Right.
Yes.
So not just any artist, Mr. Picasso.
Yes.
So have you had a portrait painted yourself before?
Never, no.
No? Okay, good. So
First
novel
time.
experience?
I'm hoping that maybe I can be a bit more regal, a bit more elder statesman.
You look tremendous.
Thank you so much.
Any way, in order to achieve this regal look, you would like Omid to sit?
Should we try glasses on or off?
You don't mind?
No, I do quite like the
I
model.
actually like them on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
On,
Yeah.
on is good.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that regal?
I hope you're going to be able to sustain that for 4 hours.
easily. That's fantastic. That's what I'm like on the toilet, anyways. It's my toilet position.
There you go. That is an image to leave you with.
Choose to be comfortable, first of all, and then we can ask the artists what preferences they have.
I'm quite happy with all angles, really, at the moment.
Same, I'm very relaxed.
I'm the same. well, just that's whatever you fine like. then.
And the lap's nice.
In the lap, okay.
Yeah.
So, artists, is there any particular way you would like Wunmi to sit?
I would like looking slightly this way, if that's okay with
Is that okay for you? More
I like it
profile?
slightly this way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Does that work?
That's good.
Does that work for you?
Okay.
Good. Well, enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Good luck, artists.
Good luck.
Artists, those empty canvases are ready and waiting.
You have 4 hours to complete your portraits. Good luck. Your time starts now.
Are you comfortable with maybe picking a spot to sort of focus on throughout?
Try and just be focused.
Sorry, very demanding.
While some artists form their initial ideas in sketchbooks, one uses the canvas to make a quick impact. Hi, Dan. That is so striking already.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
There's a
very much.
touch of Grace Jones about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe,
you know,
maybe.
I'm getting maybe it's
Angles.
to do with the angles. Wonderful. Is 4 hours a tricky amount of time for you?
It's not my usual length of time.
And
no.
what's your usual length?
The self-portrait took about 30 hours.
So you've got less than a seventh of that.
Yeah, yeah.
See how quickly I did that maths?
Very good, yeah, very impressive.
That's what you get with me, a maths machine. Dan Robbins is an amateur artist from Stoke-on-Trent. His submission intrigued the judges, not only for portraying 2 versions of himself, but also for his interpretation of the human form. It looks like you've elongated, Wunmi.
It's just a natural tendency that I have, particularly with observing directly.
You like those Hall of Mirror things when you go in and you're
not quite
stretched
that,
up.
but a little bit.
You just have that naturally in your eyes.
Yeah,
and
my
your
vision.
brain.
Yeah. It's a fun house up here.
It is a fun house. It's a fun house up here. I love that.
So, Gail, I've been watching you paint. I've never seen anyone sort of move so flexibly while you're looking at Deborah. What's that all about?
I'm always moving, and without my chair with wheels and being able to roll around, I guess it's coming out through everything else.
But it actually just makes you look really relaxed.
Oh, that's good. Inside it's going...
Gail Davies is a professional artist from Newbury. Her submission took 9 hours to complete and contrasts different textures, like her hair and the soft reindeer onesie she wears at home.
Deborah's got this fantastic sort of peachy dress on, which I think is really helping with the reflections.
Oh, yeah. But before she came out, I was thinking, I hope somebody comes out with some bright clothes and some, real colour. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect.
And you're going to show us some of it?
Yes.
Will we see detail?
I just want to get those little triangles in and the brightness of the colour. That would be wonderful.
Can't wait to see it.
I'll let you know if that works.
Oh, I'll let you know.
Yes, please.
I'm feeling okay right now. I'm gonna try and get a resemblance and then just go mad at it with watercolour and whatever I can throw at it.
University student Heather Rankin is an amateur artist from Scotland. Taking only 2 hours to complete, the judges were drawn to the atmosphere she created in her submission.
In your self-portrait, there's a kind of surly expression in the nicest possible way.
Sorry,
have you found a surly expression in Deborah?
No, she's got quite arched eyebrows, but still a really soft, kind of approachable look, so I'm trying. It's hard to do the arched eyebrow and not make her look like angry. I never really know how it's going to end up.
Let's see what happens.
It will happen.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thank you.
Hello, Julia.
Hello.
Well, I have to say, he looks like an off-duty nuclear scientist, I would say.
Yes, he does. And I need to look at that and rectify that.
Because he's not.
No, and there's plenty of time for that.
Julia Page is an amateur artist from London whose submission took 6 hours to complete. Growing up in a creative family, her mother encouraged her and her sister to draw to keep them entertained.
My sister and I used to work together in advertising.
Ah, is she here today?
No, she's not here today. No.
Have you told her you're here?
No.
Oh, really?
Only because, it just adds more pressure.
Will she be cross that you didn't tell her?
Yeah, livid.
Does she live nearby?
Yeah. No, she's away at the moment. But,
right. Did you organise that? Did you?
No,
I've got you 2 tickets to New York for 2 days. I won't be in a painting competition, I promise, during that period.
Yeah. The artists have just over 3 hours left.
So I've not been working alongside artists since university, so this is quite a change. I'm usually quite solitary, but hopefully I'll be up to it.
The strategy, I think, is to spend some time at getting the composition and then have fun with the colour when I feel safe. I'm not a strategic type normally, but in this instance, I think I have to be.
I'm worried that it's going to start getting too muddy, and I really want to pick up on the light where it hits her hair and her clothes. So much could go wrong.
Here at Banijay Arts Centre, 9 artists are creating portraits of Omid Djalili, Deborah Findlay and Wunmi Mosaku. And however they're approaching today's challenge, the artists have just 3 hours left to finish their work. It's a really interesting technique, all these squiggles.
That's because I'm messy. My mum says that this perfectly reflects my personality and my room.
I see.
Yeah,
good.
very messy.
Messy room, messy art.
Yes.
Well, it's working. 16-year-old James Mellon created his self-portrait as part of his GCSE coursework, making him the youngest artist ever to feature in our heats. So it was your idea to enter this competition?
No, my mum's. She's a character.
She's a character.
I have painted her before. That was fun.
Really?
She was like, no, not that wrinkle, not that. You know.
Oh, she's very controlling.
Oh, yeah.
Does she not understand that the artist controls?
Yeah.
This is your domain, so it's got to be flattering. Are you going to apply the same thing to Omid today?
I wanted to be Regal, and I'm trying to do that.
Got a really beautiful Regal look already.
Yeah, thank you. I think the composition probably could be a bit better. I've sort of centered the face directly in the middle of the canvas. I'm not sure if that was the right decision. For me, my sense of self-worth is like completely tied with how well the painting's going. So if it's going badly, it's really hard for me.
Jonathan Chan is an architect from London. He paints in his spare time and attends life drawing classes where he's learning how to use colour. So this is a traditional palette, is it?
It is, yeah. It's also called the student palette. There's only 4 colours: whites, yellow ochre, red, and black. It basically means that you'll always have colour harmony on your canvas if you're only using these 4 colours.
You've got a really good system going here, and I think it serves you well. We know that from your submission, so we look forward to seeing what happens.
Thank you very much.
Working in paint allows artists to be more spontaneous, but producing a drawing in just 4 hours requires precision and means being selective about what to focus on.
I have practiced, but I can never seem to get the hair done within the time. For me, she has some wonderful shapes in her face, and I love Wunmi's headscarf. We arranged this before we came on.
Professional artist Tina Willis-Jones works in Conte pencil, which can't be erased once it's applied. This means taking time to perfect faint outlines in normal pencil before using the Conte to capture how light falls on different surfaces.
I'm wondering about the colour of Wumi's skin. You're working in black and white. Does that influence the way in which you work with the pencil and the Conte at all? Is it different to, say, when you're depicting your own skin?
I think it's just about tone, really, and you go deeper tones. But Wunmi has such wonderfully reflective skin, so I'm thinking there'll be quite a lot of whites in there too.
Yeah. And so you don't have any worry about coming into a competition like this where you've got lots of big, colourful painters around you? Are you able to just conjure that in tone and texture?
I do work in colour, but I do enjoy drawing so much, and I thought today would be drawing.
Great.
Yeah.
We're delighted.
Stick to your guns.
Thank you.
Today's sets pay tribute to the early 20th century artist Jacob Lawrence.
He was the first African-American artist to be bought by the Museum of Modern Art in New York. He spent a lot of time in libraries researching his subject. And then a very nice background is a blackboard, which is a nod to education.
So what about this particular set?
Here we've got an abstracted construction site. He loved tools and the look of construction sites and use them in his paintings. And we thought it would be quite nice to cap that sort of angular structure here and sort of abstracted it somewhat. And I think the colours are rather beautiful and suit our sitter.
And what do you think of Omid as a sitter?
I think he is phenomenal. I mean, his whole pose as he's perched on the edge there, rather like a potentate from some
I think it looks like
story.
something out of the Old Testament.
Yes, it's fantastic.
I've picked a specific pose to focus on my higher self, the kingly aspects of my personality. I'm just very worried that it'll just be a big nose and rolls of fat.
So that black colour behind Deborah, is there a challenge there for an artist? Does it create difficulties?
It can do. It can be a bonus because it really defines the figure sitting in front of it, but it can also absorb all the light, and we know that part of painting a portrait is about the bouncing of light and the creation of shadow on the skin. But fortunately, Deborah has a lovely light dress, I think the artist will still be able to find those reflections.
I've seen myself on film and stuff, but I haven't ever done this before. I think always a portrait captures a different quality, and it's the artist's version of you. So I think that'll be fascinating.
So I love this set. I love these big, chunky books. We know that Jacob Lawrence really wanted to understand his culture and his heritage, the community from which he came.
Tell me about Wunmi as a sitter.
I think she's a marvellous sitter. She's wearing this fantastic, colourful headscarf. They've got that to play with. And she's got lovely poise. I think she's quite regal sat there.
This part of the room are really lovely people. We've had really good chats and getting to know each other, and I feel like we're in like a good rhythm, the four of us.
Toby, that's looking fantastic. You've got a great likeness.
Thank you.
And you're painting a very calm sitter.
She's calm at the moment.
She's calm at the moment. Do you think she could turn?
Well, when these turn, she might turn.
Oh, I see, okay. Toby Michael is a professional artist from Buckingham who painted Nick Moran in Portrait Artist of the Year 2019. He likes his work to tell a story, and the judges were taken with the Jurassic theme in this year's submission. Are you going to give Wunmi's painting any narrative at all?
If given the amount of time, then you would.
No dinosaurs?
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. I mean...
Little pterodactyl flying in the background.
Yeah, like, put like Nesty in her dress.
Nesting, yes, nesting. If you want to put pterodactyls in nesting in her headscarf, you do it, Toby.
Oh, well.
Don't let anyone tell you not to.
I love this wee little head on the board. Obviously, it's quite similar to your submission. You've done quite a lot already. Are you where you wanted to be at this stage of the day?
I think so. I think it's. I think I'm going to start another painting.
Are you?
Yeah, it's very important for me to kind of capture the first essence of it all. And this is doing what I kind of want it to at the moment.
Tommy Golunski is a professional artist and part-time art teacher. He works quickly to retain a sense of spontaneity in his work, and his self-portrait took just 1 hour to complete.
You'll put this away,
Yeah.
start another one, which is classic Portrait Artist of the Year,
Yeah.
showing off, which we love. So what are you going to do for your second one?
I think I'm going to try something a bit bigger, try and get more of the body in.
What have you got?
It's a 40 by 80.
Oh, blimey, we're getting something totally different. You know what you're setting yourself up for. A really horrible decision this afternoon.
Having to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Right?
The artists have just over 2 hours left.
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do in the background. I'm a touch nervous, just a touch.
I'm fairly happy with where the features are and the shapes in between. So I've started applying Conte now, and there's no going back. It won't come off. So, a bit nerve-wracking.
The likeness at the moment is all right. It's not amazing. So I'm going to crack on with that, I think.
Adding that extra layer of detail to the face is really challenging. Anything can go wrong. Could be in half an hour, you just see me just like hit it with my fist and kind of make a hole in it.
Here at Battersea Arts Centre, today's artists are 2 hours into creating their portraits of Omid Djalili, Deborah Findlay and Wunmi Mosaku. Halfway through the day, the room is packed with public watching artists scribbling away, our sitters sitting diligently. Tommy has decided he's finished one portrait and has started another.
He loves spontaneity, he loves keeping things fresh. It's really impressive.
But what I'm surprised about is how tight the first head of Omid was. That maybe he's just saving, keeping his powder dry. He's really going to show off this afternoon, I don't know.
James is drawing Omid in his slightly scribbly, messy way.
What I think James has done really well, which I think is difficult when you have a character like Omid, is that he's managed to not turn him into a caricature.
But it also has got some sort of strange, classical, kooky, timeless quality to it. I'm on board, I'm intrigued.
How is Heather getting on with capturing Deborah's likeness?
It's not as pronounced as her submission, but I think there's a really lovely likeness there. It is very delicate. I'd like to see it harden up.
Jonathan is working in quite a confident, bold way.
He's really piling the paint on. It's very odd because although I love the painting and there's something of her in there, I'm not quite kind of getting it yet.
Because he started with this very true representation of Deborah, it's almost as if Deborah's sitting behind the blocks of colour at the moment, and I want her to sort of be able to come through again. I worry a little bit both about Tina and Dan painting Wunmi, because I feel that they're almost painting stereotypical views of what they think they're looking at.
I think Tina has to be really careful because I feel like she had a really good opportunity this morning to nail the likeness, and she hasn't corrected them, so it makes me a bit nervous.
Toby in the middle. He's giving us quite a serene Wunmi at the moment, isn't he?
It's a beautiful little head of Wunmi. What is troubling me, of course, his submissions always have a narrative. At the moment, the head is beautiful, but we're midway on the way to something, and it isn't quite complete.
Yeah, I think we either need to see the books or we need to see a dinosaur.
I'm going for the dinosaurs. Quite a few of our artists today, then, are precariously balanced. It's always an exciting point in the day, isn't it?
Yep, it kind of could go either way.
While some sitters like to see how the portrait progresses, today they decided not to look until the end.
I haven't seen anything yet. I can see people's expressions, which is not encouraging. They kind of look and kind of go like that. There's one guy just looked at me and he went like that. I felt like saying, what?
I just want to see what they do. I want to see their styles and want to see their interpretations of me. I don't mind. I mean, I hope I don't look like a monster.
When the canvases are turned round, I'm expecting a mixture of trepidation and surprise and delight. You just don't know what you look like, do you?
There's always this one magic moment in a painting where you just kind of add a little flick and the person just emerges out of the mist, which is amazing. That's already happened, but it's fleeting, it can go.
I'd like to think that I'd captured her. I'm a bit sceptical still. I'm thinking, could there be a little mark to give direction to the form? Don't know whether that's me being too precious about it or whether it actually needs it.
Tina, you got Wunmi back.
I did. I lost her, and I got her back.
I really loved your early drawing of Wunmi's head, but then I thought once you were trying to get the likeness out of that sort of structure, you kind of got a bit lost. But
yeah, that always happens. I start to sculpt it with tone, and then it comes back.
Please, carry on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Artists will often leave their work and return the following day to see it with fresh eyes. But without that luxury today, it's easy to lose perspective. How's it going?
I was worried about the resemblance, and I'm worried about this eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I put too much on it, it's going to start looking like it's coming out of her head, so I'm trying not to add too much to it. I could be finished, which is bad, because it means I'm going to be sitting staring at it.
Do you want me to get you a crossword or a Sudoku or something to do?
Play Twister.
Play Twister, yeah. That would be good.
You've got half an hour left.
I know. I thought I'd be really freaking out at this stage, but I'm freaking out slightly more that I feel like it's almost finished. So I still have time left.
Well, that's okay. We're not going to penalise you for not painting for a period of time.
I'm a bit tense about the timing, but I might be on track.
I understand that you've been getting top tips from a certain person. What's going on?
Yeah, very good tips. You see the light on his head? It throws the features forward. And I thought She could exploit that a little. Yes,
We're
exploit.
going to have to stick a paintbrush in your hand before we know it, aren't we?
If you win, I'll share the prize.
With time nearly up, whether artists achieve what they're aiming for may come down to a few key marks.
It is a bit of a journey. I'm trying to make every brushstroke at this point count. You're either making it better or you're making it worse.
I don't think I've yet quite captured him. I feel pressure. I do feel pressure.
I don't think painting number 2 is quite wide enough. I think it needs to be broader to give him some of the presence that is felt. I'm like a swan. It's like graceful on top, but underneath my legs are kicking furiously.
Here at Battersea Arts Centre, 9 artists are refining their portraits of Deborah Findlay, Wunmi Mosaku and Omid Djalili. And in the final moments, they must decide whether to do more or leave well alone.
I wish I'd got another hour to do a little bit more. I think I've got a Wunmi. I hope so.
Artists, you have 5 minutes to go.
I'm quite stressed that we only have 5 minutes left. I guess when it's finished, it's finished.
I thought I would just do tweaks, but I have ended up overworking it. I preferred it probably 10 minutes ago.
I'm just trying to get last-minute highlights. Just slightly freaking me out.
Artists, your time is up.
Put down your equipment and step away from your easels.
After waiting patiently for 4 hours, Omid, Deborah and Wunmi can at last see what the artists have made of them and choose their favourite painting to take home. Wunmi, you did it.
Did it?
How was it?
It's fun.
Now it's time to see your reaction. Artists, will you please turn your easels?
Wow! These are amazing.
3 such different interpretations of you. So Tina's beautiful drawing.
That's amazing. I feel like I can see my mum and my gran and my sisters. I feel like I can see all the women in my family.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I really can. I love your style.
That's you as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That's like a mirror.
And Dan, with something totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it.
Great, Dan, thank you.
Really, thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
We're in suspense. We're going to make a choice.
I'm going to pick Tony's.
Thank you, Tony.
Well, Deborah,
Yes.
a day free of acting.
Yes.
Has it felt restful?
It hasn't felt restful. It's been absolutely fascinating.
Fine. Well, now, artists, will you turn round your easels, please?
Oh, they're brilliant. Thank you very much.
Come and meet Gail first of all.
Gail, it's fantastic. And you've got the pattern of my dress. That's brilliant. Now, she's very powerful, isn't she?
Well, you know
She's
about being powerful. You've played powerful women.
I do play powerful women quite a lot, yes. I love it. Oh, that's beautiful. You've got a lightness in the eyes.
She may be young, but she's very
She's
accomplished.
very, very good. No, it's... Oh, God, I don't know which one. I can't choose.
This is the moment.
I think I'm going to go with you.
Have you enjoyed this process today?
I have, very much. It was a great experience.
Great. Are you ready for this?
I am ready for this. I'm very excited. I hope you've captured my highest self.
Well, let's find out. Artists, please turn your easels.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
Right, Tommy.
I look very stern.
You look quite stern, don't you?
Yeah.
Looking at him with a little bit of disgust.
Yeah. I thought we had a relationship. We were smiling all throughout the thing. My goodness.
It's terrific, though, Tommy.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a deepness you've caught in the eyes as well, which I think is very interesting. I like it. Julia, wow. This, I feel, has caught me extremely well. I look, in general, a bit thinner in this.
That's a key issue.
It's
You
a key.
keep coming back to
I just
this,
kept saying, I kept miming it. I kept saying that. It almost looks like a diplomat of a very low-level, kind of third-world country. But it looks great. I like it a lot. James, it's fantastic. You haven't included the glasses, which is interesting. I look like I'm upset with something here.
Maybe you've lost your glasses.
It's a great piece, and you've captured the line of the beard very well. It's a beautiful painting. Thank you.
So, Omid, only one of these can hang in your throne room. Which one is it going to be?
I would say this one, definitely.
Great.
Thank you very much. Really well done.
While the artists enjoy some fresh air, the judges assess their work.
Heather did a beautiful job.
I think she managed to capture a real tenderness and actually a really good likeness.
Guess what? I really like this. It's got so much paint on it. It's so slabby, but I think Jonathan's done a great job.
It's a lovely kind of opera of all these different
Eat it.
scales. I mean, it's quite dramatic.
I think that Gail was successful in capturing that delicacy, that sort of almost youthful skin that she had, the glow.
What attracted us to her self-portrait was a sense of gravity, and I'm missing that here. It feels very, very slight.
I really admired Dan's sculptural qualities. I just wish he'd paid a bit more attention to likeness. Because can you imagine how good this would be if it looked a bit more like her? I still think it's quite cool looking. I like the style.
Yeah, I like the style too, and I like the fact that he's sort of gone slightly wild with the colours.
This is a really tender portrait, but also there's a kind of classical quality to it. It's sort of suspended in time.
A bit worried about Toby's use of the black. It feels very heavy. And having said that, I mean, the portrait of Wunmi, it's her being tired, it's her being humorous. It's got so many aspects of her in there. It's quite remarkable.
I'm really happy with where Tina got to by the end of the day. I think she managed to find Wunmi's likeness again in amongst all that Conte and has given us a really good finished product.
Like his self-portrait, James has done something. It sort of traverses time. It feels very Mediterranean, and the face is just so delicately drawn. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I love that face. I've loved it all day. I think it's a fantastic drawing. I was really pleased to see that Julia embraced the set and she really used it to her advantage.
The likeness is there, isn't it? I mean, Julia really did capture this sort of, his perkiness, I think I'm going to call it.
I do think Tommy's created a good character head. It might not be the spitting image of Omid or have his sense of character, but I feel like I'm looking at a real person.
Just get these two.
To help choose today's winner, the judges first shortlist 3 of the artists.
Can I move that
I can do that.
out?
I can do that.
That is a really strong day.
I know that these two are definitely in my top 3.
That's a given for me, that one.
Yeah.
That has to be there.
There's something rather beautiful and romantic about that. Is definitely a good day's work.
Really good day.
Artists, congratulations for producing such impressive work under pressure.
The judges have discussed all your portraits and have chosen a shortlist of 3. The first artist is Jonathan Chan.
The second artist is Toby Michael.
The third artist to be shortlisted is Tina Willis-Jones.
The experience has been magical. I would have liked to have been braver and bolder and bigger, but you can't have everything.
Well, a strong day.
Yeah.
And when we add in the 3 shortlisted portraits with their submissions, we're left with 6 very arresting images.
Yeah, I think we've got a real consistency here. We've got 3 artists who all know exactly who they are. They've all really pulled it off.
Jonathan, has he given you anything today that you weren't expecting?
The submission is a tour de force in these really rhythmic, sort of staccato paintbrush marks in quite strange colour palette. And again, he changed his colour palette today. Instead of this mustard background, he went very dark, but it's a very different dark to Toby.
Because Toby was in last year's portraits, wasn't he? What is it about his technique that you admire?
It's interesting, because I had problems with Toby's use of black, but what I'm seeing now is the way the figures inhabit the space seems very natural, and there's a kind of continuity of the way the paint is put on throughout the painting, and that's quite extraordinary. I don't see that very often.
I think he probably picked up tips from you last time.
Oh, no doubt.
Your critique.
Now, Tina has given us 2 fine drawings.
You know, often pencil or charcoal suffers when it's up against something that appears to be more finished because it's a painting. And I think Tina really holds her own in this company.
What she did very early on today was very interesting, that she constructed Wumi's head like a Jenga block, and that's when we all started worrying that she wasn't going to get the likeness.
I think I'm really impressed because it's very rare that an artist struggles with the likeness and gets it to such a degree that she has. She really did fix it.
Well, it's a high contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really vivid contrast between 3 very different spirits.
But 3 very similar in scales, and even the drawing is large and holds its own.
Look forward to seeing who you choose.
Jonathan, Tina, Toby, you should each be very proud to have reached this shortlist, but of course, only one of you can go forward.
The artist that the judges have selected created a wonderful likeness as well as a compelling work of art. And that artist is Toby Michael.
I feel elated to have won. It sounds really corny, but this is like the pinnacle at the moment of my life. It's just surreal.
I thought Toby's portrait was absolutely beautiful, and I'm so happy for him, and a little bit proud of him too.
I'm so chuffed for him. He's a brilliant painter, and he produced an amazing piece of work.
Toby's just a great painter. He's got all the right sort of old mastery techniques, but he's giving us painting in a sort of fresh and contemporary way, and I know he's going to give us more the next round.
Thank you. Let's see the semi-final. I can't wait for the semi-finals. I'm raring to go, and I want to see how far I can push my practice and see how far I can go.